Chapter 23, Cartel Wives.
The countdown to the end. Olivia. During the summer and fall of 2008, nothing in our lives was certain. I was super pregnant and taking care of Brandon. Junior and Peter were recording as much as they could, and with every call, they were positive their world was about to come crashing down. They knew their cooperation couldn't go on forever, yet there was no end date, no exit strategy, no direction, and in their minds, no plan in place. They were just hanging by a thread trying to stay alive, and sooner or later, after dozens of raids and millions of dollars of lost revenue, their money was going to run out. If they couldn't repay the cartels, their days were numbered. That's why, early that fall, they did what they felt they had to do in order to make a payment. They shipped a load of 276 kilos into Chicago without reporting it to the feds.
Dang.
Honestly, they were worried that the U.S. government wasn't going to ensure that the cartels didn't come after them or us. So while they knew not disclosing the sale was wrong, they felt they had no choice. They were responsible for keeping their family alive.
When you're in a position and they're giving you no choice, they're giving you no help, you're running out of money to pay these people, you're running out of work to give to the feds. Guess what? Y'all don't want to listen to me? I know what's going to happen to me if I don't get this done right. I'm leaving you out of it. Was it wrong? Morally? Morality missed me with the morality bit. Was it right strategy-wise? You're damn right. I would have ran 5, 6, operations under their nose. Evidently, they were phoning it in. They weren't paying enough attention anyway. The feds weren't paying enough attention to them anyway. They didn't want to help them. They didn't want to do shit. Guess what? I'm getting paid. I'm making sure that I ain't looking crazy to these bosses. And that's what they did.
Mia. It wasn't just their phone conversations that left them exposed. That summer and fall, they were frequently called into the mountains by Chapo. There, they had to look him in the eyes, knowing they were betraying him. One mountaintop meeting was especially rough. As Peter and Junior sat at Chapo's table with his top lieutenants, discussing business as usual, Chapo spoke up. "Everyone leave. All of you but the Flores brothers." There was an army of men in the palapa, and one by one, each of them stood up and filed out the door. Knowing that Chapo was all too aware that their loads kept getting seized by the feds, Peter and Junior were terrified. There had always been a silent language between them, a way they could communicate just by looking at each other. But they couldn't do that here. Chapo was watching them, dead serious. They thought the worst. The boss had found out they were snitches, and they were about to die. "I know everything you do," Chapo said. Junior and Peter looked around and saw guns on the table and ammo hanging on the walls. "I know who you work with and how you make every dollar."
Do you?
Junior breathed in, slowly. He had no idea where Chapo was going, but not talking would look suspicious. "Yes," he responded, "and we hope it's benefiting you, right, senor?" Chapo paused, and you could have heard a pin drop in the room. Finally, he smiled. Yes, I have your backs 1,000%. Then he got serious. "I know you're businessmen, but I need to say this. From now on, you are only to work with us, not my enemies.
There it is.
Let this be your first and final warning."
Actually, not their first one. But wait, which side was Musico on? Musico might have been on the other side. They warned them too. Make up your mind, bro. Pick a side. Hop your ass up off the fence. We're not playing this fence shit no more. Y'all accidentally be talking about missions and shit to each other. Pick a side. Get it together.
Peter was so relieved that someone hadn't come in the room and shot him and his brother in the back of their heads, but he put his game face on. "I understand, but we need to make money." Chapo interrupted. "And I'm happy you make money. You're good at it, too. If you were triplets, you'd be the richest people on earth. But
you're gonna make money for us. Don't be making money for them.
Understand me. I need you on my side." So this wasn't about Peter and Junior being informants. It was about them being caught between the cartels. It wasn't the last breath they'd take after all. Chapo had simply put them on notice.
Olivia. That September was such an emotional time for me and Junior. We were so excited about having our second baby, and yet every time their customers and Chapo's associates called, Junior wired up, ready to record, and we instantly became terrified. Still, I knew what Junior and Peter were doing was for the best, and that gave me some peace. We weren't chasing the cartel life anymore. We were chasing what my parents had. Despite the fact that my husband was going to go to prison, this was going to give our children the simplicity I always wanted.
Two different worlds right there. They fighting for what their parents had. Their parents never had that cartel life. Them parents had that straight edge life, trying to do something better.
We were on our way to creating a new story for them, and I felt deep down it was one that would someday have a happy ending. Early one morning that month, Junior and I left Brandon with Mia and Peter at our house and drove to the hospital before the sun came up. After I checked myself in and got into a room, Junior and I held hands and couldn't stop looking at each other. I don't know what it is, but knowing you're bringing a baby into this world is the warmest, most loving feeling you can ever have. I felt like I was living a dream. The moment that the doctors laid our beautiful son, Benjamin, on my chest, it literally took my breath away. As he wiggled on my body, I felt safe and protected, like I always had with Junior. A warmth washed over me that was so calm and peaceful, and I wanted to hold on to that moment forever.
Mia. It was back to business almost immediately. Peter and Junior kept recording. They kept seeing their loads get seized, and through it all, we feared that every day could be our last in Mexico. When Chapo summoned Peter and Junior up to the mountains in October, saying he had an incredibly important meeting, they really believed it was do or die time. If the feds couldn't catch Chapo at that meeting, was their cooperation even worth it?
I don't know if it was worth it all the way around the table. Again, except for keeping them and their family alive. Because damn if they ain't get their ass kicked over it.
Olivia. When Chapo called a group of his people together, it was always a big deal. But this one promised to be bigger. Mayo, Olivares, Vicente, and 100 of his top lieutenants would be there, together, in one room for the first time ever. I think you should stay behind, Junior said to Peter. If someone there finds out we're informants, they'll kill both of us.
Mia. The truth was that most of the time, Junior went to the mountains alone because Peter needed to stay with the phones. Meetings with Chapo lasted all day and were drawn out, so someone needed to be at home running the day-in, day-out operations. This time, however, they prayed Chapo wouldn't call attention to Peter's absence. It was such a big meeting, and Chapo had asked them both to come, but they hoped to hell no one would think things were off.
Especially if he asked. If he asked specifically, I need both of y'all this time, and you send one, sounds like a problem.
I'll stay, Junior, agreed Peter. But just, please, be safe.
Olivia. Junior called Eric and the DEA's office beforehand. Eric, everyone's flying in. 100 cartel members are expected to be there.
Shit.
I can tell you the exact coordinates of where the meeting is. All of these people have never been in the same room together, and this is your chance to get them all. This only happens once in a lifetime, and I'll even take an agent with me.
Damn.
But Eric refused. It doesn't work like that, Junior.
That's crazy. Fucking nuts, balls, audacity, all of that shit at the same time. Like, bro, he's gonna have 100 soldiers there. I'm not taking my brother, but I'll take an agent if you want me to. Like, bro, that's risking it all.
Junior, I can't risk any of my agents. Then give me a wire or a camera. I can't take that risk, even with you. Junior was getting frustrated. Peter and I will gift Chapo a plane. We just need you to install a GPS tracker on it. Chapo trusts us so much, there's no way in hell he'll have it searched. I'm sorry, Junior, Eric answered. It doesn't work that way.
I wonder if that would have been a true statement. Me, I don't care who I trust. I ain't worried about the twins. Cool, I'm worried about whoever, the plane dealer that sold them the plane putting a bug on here. I'm checking for everything. I'm not sitting around waiting for somebody I trust to be the okie doke and a plot against me. Somebody that didn't see it coming. They didn't see it coming, so now I'm paying for it? Nah.
Mia, Peter got so upset when he heard what Eric had said. What's the point of recording if we're giving them Chapo's exact location? He yelled. I don't understand why they just don't go get him. But that was the nature of the game. Record, wait, conduct business as usual, put on a brave face, and record more.
Olivia. Like he'd done more times than he could count, Junior hopped on a tiny plane in Culiacan and less than an hour later landed uphill in the mountains, the plane kicking up dust all around him. He followed the same path with the same people, probably rode in the same Jeep. But when he got there, Chapo looked disappointed. Where's your brother?
Boy, you disappointed him. You end up stuck to a tree out there,
he said. Junior laughed it off. We can't both be here. Who's going to take care of business and get you paid if we're both stuck in the mountains? Chapo started laughing too, but Junior wondered if it was genuine.
Mia.
Is Junior wondering if it's genuine just because he knows he has his own paranoia? Because he knows he's ratting them out, right? Or did Junior see something in the way he laughed that looks like he's fake laughing or something? It doesn't seem authentic. Sometimes our minds play tricks on us, man.
All the while, their loads kept getting seized. They'd always pay the cartels back, but after a while, it started to look suspicious.
Olivia. Felipe Cabrera Sarabia was one of Chapo's top lieutenants. That fall, during one particularly big seizure early one morning, Felipe called Peter, unprompted. Someone's tailing my driver, he said. What's going on? Are you rats? You've got to be kidding, Peter said, then talked him down and brushed it off more. He put Felipe at ease, but not himself. He was so freaked out, he ran into our house at probably 6 a.m. and woke Junior up. When I saw the look on his face, I knew it was serious. Junior, Peter said. Something's wrong. Felipe Sarabia's onto us.
And here's the thing, nothing's wrong. It's just that people are realizing something's wrong. You know what I mean? The United States government is not allowing you any cover. And these dudes is out there like, man, why these dudes keep getting hit? Why do I have to keep paying for their problems? You know? It's a lot of problems lately with these twins. That's a lot of pressure, man. Also said, fact of the matter is, the USA is the biggest consumer of all drugs, and the prison system is a big money business in the USA. Say it again for the motherfucker in the back. Fact of the matter is, the USA is the biggest consumer of all drugs, and the prison system is a big money business in the US of A. This is America. Absolutely. America's a crackhead. Yeah, we just consume. And the sentiment from a lot of people outside of the U.S. is, if you Americans can control your drug habits, we wouldn't be going through this. You know, to me, there's always an origin story for any problem. Most of the time, we don't look at the origin story to see what went wrong, why it went wrong, and how to fix it. We just take it as a given. It is what it is. Some Yahoo American right now talking about how them Mexicans ruin the south side of Chicago, but they won't at all be accountable for whatever part they had in this whole situation, you know? Military industrial complex, the prison industrial complex, the war on drugs, the joke that is the war on drugs. You didn't damper nothing. You didn't stop no shipments from coming through by locking up anybody or by unaliving anybody. Nothing has changed. The drugs have gotten harder and more dangerous. Again, crackhead live 30, 40, 50 years unbothered. Cokehead, go till his heart stop. But then it gets worse, then it gets dope, then it's this, then it's that. Next thing you know, it's something that if you're within 5 feet of it, it knock you over, you drop dead. Like what? The war on drugs didn't do nothing. And as long as they get federal subsidies in these prisons per bed, dirtbags like Joe Arpaio win in this morality war. When they got more skeletons in their closet than a mother.
The feds are all over his driver. He accused us of being rats. Let me call Eric, Junior said. Junior called the DEA agent and woke him up. He started yelling so loudly that Benjamin began crying. As I held my baby in my arms and gave him a bottle, I could hear my husband screaming. You're going to get us killed! How can you leave us out in the open like this? Tell your agents to back off because you could have blown everything. I'm here in Guadalajara like a sitting duck. I have my family and a newborn baby, for God's sake, and Peter's wife is pregnant. Don't you know the cartels could come kill our whole fucking family? Eric couldn't really say a thing. After all, he knew Junior was right. He and Peter had everything to lose, and the DEA had everything to gain.
Mia. Unfortunately, though, Peter and Junior still didn't have Chapo on tape. Through all their meetings with him that summer and early fall, they'd never recorded him saying anything that was incriminating. On November 15th, 2008, when I was so pregnant I couldn't see my toes, all that changed.
Olivia. 2 weeks before their baby was due, Mia and Peter walked over to our house. Just like he always did, Peter had his recorder in his pocket.
Mia. Everything seemed normal. Junior had some friends and associates over, and we were all planning to sit down outside and have dinner. A few people commented about my big belly, but in a cute way. Peter kept looking over at me and smiling. My beautiful pregnant wife, he'd say, and I'd squeeze his hand under the table. After dinner, Peter spoke up. I have to call Chapo, he said, then pushed back his chair and headed inside and up the stairs. He returned not 2 minutes later.
Olivia. I saw Peter motion to Junior, who was right next to me. Then he came up to us and whispered, I just missed Chapo. Let's go upstairs, said Junior. They turned, walked away from everyone, and escaped up to the bedroom.
They wildin'. It's people in the house while they doing this. I thought they were all by their lonesome. I don't remember how it was framed in the Surviving El Chapo podcast, but I didn't realize they had a house full of people. So they missed the call from him, and now they're going to hit him back. Or wait for the call, I guess, again.
Mia. Olivia and I knew what was about to happen. Junior and Peter had told us that night they were going to get Chapo on tape. So when they went upstairs, we moved inside too and situated ourselves on the couch. We couldn't talk much. There were too many people around. But we were both thinking the same thing. If Junior and Peter get this recording, they won't have to spend a lot of time in jail. The government's going to be so grateful they may actually pardon them. After what we've been through, it's the least they can do for us.
Yeah, pie in the sky right there, because no leniency, no none of that. You're lucky we're letting you live. You're lucky we're not letting them eat you alive. Vic said, crazy how after all these years, they still paying the price. Facts. Oh, maybe they'll give them, some kind of leniency or clemency or immunity or none of that shit. They figured Sammy is implicated in 19 murders. He gets off. After 5 years, he gets out of jail. Oh, we ain't got no bodies. We'll be just fine. Nah, man.
Of course, it was all wishful thinking.
Attitude?
And when Peter and Junior came back downstairs, the looks on their faces made any happy thoughts go away.
Olivia. Peter was holding the recorder in his hands like his life depended on it. He looked like something was horribly wrong, like he'd just seen a ghost. What's wrong? I asked. We got it, Peter said. Junior added, I think we've nailed Chapo. In the home I'd built with the love of my life, and only 6 weeks before carried our newborn baby into, I suddenly knew there was no turning back. My family was about to be torn apart.
There was no turning back a long time ago. The moment the decision was made, that's when there was no turning back. The moment you made the first move and reached out to Joe, the lawyer, there was no turning back right then and there. There's receipts. It was on record at that point.
Mia. Peter had called Chapo back and he'd answered. Hola, amigo, Chapo said happily. How is your brother? Over the course of only a few minutes,
Hola,
Peter
amigo.
negotiated the price of a 20-kilo shipment of heroin down from $55,000 per kilo to $50,000. It was business as usual, and in fact, it was warm and friendly.
Olivia. But with that one call, the countdown to the end was over. Chapo had incriminated himself, and the United States had officially netted the biggest drug dealer in history.
Traded.
It was time to bring Junior and Peter home.
That was chapter 23. Good chapter. We got to the phone call. They got a house full of people. They missed the call. They called them back. Hola, amigo. We get to that. It was already signed, sealed, and delivered that was going to be no turning back after that. The pressure that, who knows that I just got this call on this old man. Just the paranoia in itself. Oh, man, you'd be spooked all fucking day long. Because you're still in Mexico. You still got, the same guys watching you. The same guys overseeing you. Like, shit.